A doctor's coat has many pockets. We use them for pens, stethoscope, and notebooks. But there's a hidden one, an invisible one, where we carry the promises we couldn't keep. Mine holds the memory of a cricket jersey. His name was Rohan, and he was a 7-year-old kid, but his eyes were ancient. They had seen more pain than most adults ever will. He was my patient in the pediatric ICU during my residency, his heart failing in his small bird like chest. But a failing heart couldn't touch his spirit. His smile, when it came, it was like the sun breaking out through a storm cloud, weak but dazzling. Our connection was forged over cricket. Every morning on my rounds, my last stop would be by his bed. Doctor, he would whisper, his voice raspy. What was the score? Did Dhoni hit a century? It became a ritual. I would give him the match updates and he would give me that smile. We developed a secret handshake, a soft fist bump that ended with him using his index finger to gesture a six. It was his way of saying, hey, I'm still in game. One morning, after a particular good night, he was breathing a little easier. The numbers on the monitor looked beautiful. Hope, a dangerous and addictive drug, flooded my system. Rohan, I said, leaning in close, you keep fighting like this, okay? And the day you walk out of this hospital, I'm going to buy you your own Dhoni jersey, the real one. His tired eyes widened, and for the first time, they looked like a child's. A massive, genuine grin spread across his face. Promise? Promise? I said. I said promise, sealing it with her handshake. For the next week, that promise was the fuel. For him and for me. I was no longer just his doctor, I was the keeper of the jersey. Every stable blood pressure reading, every clear breath sound was a step closer to the sports shop. I was fighting for the patient, but I was picturing a little boy in a blue jersey, his name on my discharge summary. And then the game changed. It happened at 3 a.m., the devil's hour in any hospital. The shrill, piercing alarm of the monitor ripped through the silence of the PICU. I ran. His bed was surrounded. The numbers on the screen were a chaotic, terrifying mess. His eyes were wide with a fear I'll never forget. He was looking at me, his cricket buddy, his promise keeper, as if to ask, what's happening? A code blue was announced. The room became a whirlwind of frantic, focused energy, but all I could see was his small hand, the one I did our handshake with, now lying limp by his side. My hands were on his chest, compressions, the brutal rhythmic violence of trying to force a heart to remember its job. The world dissolved. There was only the feeling of his fragile ribs beneath my palms, the sharp smell of adrenaline, and my own voice in my head. A desperate, silent chant. Come on, Rohan, come on, kid. The jersey, remember the jersey, fight! But he was tired. His little body had fought too hard for too long. My senior consultant, a kind man who had seen this tragedy 100 times, put his hand on my shoulder. Shravan, stop, it's done. He called the time of death. The machines were silenced, and the only sound left was a gut-wrenching wail that came from the hallway. His mother. The next few minutes are a black hole in my memory, but I remember walking out to face her. There are no words to describe the feeling of standing in front of a mother whose world you were supposed to save and telling her that you have failed. Her eyes weren't just angry, they were just empty. She looked right through me. I went back into the room one last time. The nurses had cleaned him up, removed the tubes and lines. He was just a little boy again, asleep. He looked peaceful, but his hand was uncurled. He wasn't signaling a six anymore. And standing there in that sterile, quiet room, my white coat felt like it was on fire. The promise I made, so full of hope and life just days ago, crashed down on me. It wasn't the failure of medicine that broke me, it was the image of the blue jersey that would never be worn. It was the weight of my own word, now turned to ash into my mouth. I leaned against the wall, slid down to the floor, and for the first time in my medical career, I cried. I cried not for the patient I lost, but for the little boy whose friend I had failed to be. Textbooks teach you how to treat a failing heart, but Rohan had taught me the part they leave out. Sometimes the only thing you can do is let your own heart break right alongside the one you couldn't save.